This is going to be your weekly relationship tarot oracle reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies you may have been experiencing throughout the previous days, how you're feeling today, and what's the sneak peek for the upcoming week. You know, I don't even know where to begin in regards to the energies. The weather and the vibes have been so odd. You know, I haven't seen lightning like that or heard thunder like I did the other day. It was so strange, you know. We had this cool weather that turned suddenly warm and then dipped right back down and just went totally chaotic. It was so intense. And I think it's very reflective of the energies right now, you know, even astrologically. I'm noticing that a lot of people are struggling in their relationships. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody is, but I've seen breakups, ghosting, you know, arguments, sadness, grief. I think it's been a really make or break time for relationships. And, you know, maybe it's because we're on the brink of this major change coming. Pisces energy or Pisces season is very deep. It's emotional and it's dreamy. Sometimes there are some illusions there, but at the same time, it can also be avoidant. And I say this with love to my Pisces people and Pisces placements, but a lot of the times Pisces can get lost in a dream or an illusion, or even just lost in isolation, wanting to be alone, you know? So I don't know. There's a definite vibe in the air. Now, funny, as I'm saying this, the moon is in Scorpio. And whenever the moon is in Scorpio, we know that this is when we're feeling, intense and deep and sometimes dark. You know, there's this, you know, internal battle going on. So I don't know how many of you are feeling that or feeling that in your connection. Let me know in the comments. But listen, not everything is dark. With dark, there is light, right? I always say good people do bad things, bad people do good things. There's no such thing as all good or all bad. You know, it's all about how we respond and navigate. And that's the advice that I would give right now. Be aware of how you respond to something. Like, what are your intentions in how you respond? Okay. And I also want to make the point that we have to look at the bigger picture. And I know that's not always easy because naturally people think subjectively. They don't think objectively. But I have to remind you that it's important to understand why people do what they do, even if we don't agree with it. And I know there's a lot of people that may say, why? Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to make excuses for people? Or that sounds like making excuses. No, it's not about making excuses. We do not condone bad behavior, but we can understand the reasons behind it. And I think that's a large part of what I do in my sessions. You know, those of you that have had sessions with me know that I'm always looking at every angle of a situation and trying to understand. Now, my gift, I was born with the gift that I can understand. I used to think it was a blessing and a curse, and now I look at it as a total blessing. But, you know, this is why I'm so calm, or why I don't really get mad at things, because I understand why people do what they do. I don't agree with it. I don't always like it, but I get it. And so if you need help figuring out the bigger picture, I'm always here to help you with that. But how you respond to these energies right now, I think is really important. You know, as I was saying with the Pisces energy, we're at the end of the astrological year. The new year is going to start with Aries. And we are going to have this eclipse season start. And yeah, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to bring things to the surface. It's going to bring changes. And a lot of people say, when is this over? Like, when are we going to catch a break? Here's the thing. We are going to be tested until the day we transition from this world. And we're not going to be able to get around tests or challenges. We're going to have to go through them and get better as we go and figure things out. So what we're going to do is take some overall messages right now between you and your person. This could also be you in your own inner masculine and feminine energy. So take it as it resonates. Don't try to make anything fit, but I'm really curious for the depth of this reading today because I definitely feel it. I know there's something brewing, but again, Scorpio energy, 1st of March, my goodness. Where did January and February go? Okay, so let's take a look here. Where did it go? Time to go. It heard me. Funny, that's also a number 45 card, which is a number 9. Nines are a number of solitude. being possibly single, and on the brink of major change. So very fascinating energy right there. Let's take another oracle card here. Let's see what you need to know. Bride, wife, and engagement. Wow. You know, I'll tell you what's interesting. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm getting prepared to like myself, but it came in that moment. Maybe I have to speak up, or maybe somebody needs to speak up. I'm not sure. Here's the thing. Remember that good luck is bad luck and bad luck is good luck. And sometimes things happen that feel so sad and so against us. But they're happening for us, and they're preparing us for things that are better. You know, I had this very deep talk in my Alchemist book talk last night, and it was about cycles and how I've learned from the last, 7 or 8 years. And I'll put it to you this way. I think I was very tested in 2023 to see how I would handle situations versus back in 2017. In 2017, I was separating from my ex-husband. I was sparked by somebody new who absolutely changed my life. And I'm so forever grateful for that scenario, you know, actually for all of it. It's kind of funny, and I say this respectfully. My marriage was a wonderful part of my life. There really was a genuine love and connection there, but it was also a season and a reason. And the way that it ended may not have been so great. And even though we're amicable, I would just say it really did give me a great gift, because it pushed me to reawaken, and even more so being sparked by someone who taught me how to trust the process. And I always say this, if I don't understand trust the process at this point in my life, there's something wrong. And I'm not saying that in relation to any of you. I'm speaking like personally about myself, my own standards for my learning and growth. Because trusting the process is not something that you learn overnight or in a few months or even in a year. I've been reflecting on the past, 7 years or so, maybe even a little longer, where I can see where I had to learn to be better in regards to my boundaries and self-love and expectations of people. And so, you know, I know this is like a long side note from this bride card or from this time to go, but to be honest with you, it's time to go. It's time to let the past be in the past. You know, reflecting back on 2017 for me means letting go of an era in my life. I've learned so much. I'm so thankful. I've had a million lessons along the way of things that went well or didn't go well, but it all brought me to where I am today. And even those things that were not such great luck turned out to be the biggest blessings. And I was tested in 2023 in regards to letting something go, even though I really cared. And when I let go, I did it differently than the way I would have years ago. What took me 3 years from 2017 to 2020, I did in approximately, 4 months in 2023. And I think when you're put in those situations where you're being tested, and in the moment you don't know you're passing the test, in the moment you have no idea where it's going to take you, but I trusted it. And it's brought me to a point right now where I really genuinely feel so happy. Like I feel so happy. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to have bad days or other tests, but it reminds me of how far I've come. And all of you are in very similar situations. You're not alone. I understand how you feel. And you too can get to a place where you feel more confident and happy. It just takes time, and it takes consistency and effort. It really depends on how much we want to make the changes, you know. But I digress. I think that now there is an opportunity here for a union. There's an opportunity for a next level. It doesn't have to be literal engagement as in like ring on finger, but when I hear the word engagement, I think of engaging in something, putting effort into something, going towards a higher level of love, self-love, relationship love, commitment. It's beautiful. Okay, sorry, deep talks for the morning as I'm filming this. Okay, fire snake. There you go. You can't make this up. Living from the heart. Wow. Living from the heart. Okay. Well, that energy says a lot. Are you heart-centered? You know, brain and heart coherence are the most important thing. You know, the longest journeys from the head to the heart. Look at this, 45, 54. We have mirroring. We have mirror. I have a feeling this is going to be a very deep, deep reading. Okay, so that being said, let's take a look at the before tarot. The before tarot is the energies leading up to today. This is what you may have been experiencing. We're going to take a look at what's in your headspace, your person's headspace, your heart space, their heart space, overall energy and underlying energy. And of course, feel free to swap sides if it makes more sense. Now, this can also, like I said, be for your own inner masculine and feminine energies. You know, don't try to make anything fit. Just see where it takes you. Okay, so let's take a look at your headspace in the previous days. Okay, well, in the previous days, you may have been preparing for heartbreak. You may have felt it coming. Or you may have felt a sadness looming over you, a grief, a knowing that what was may not continue to be. And take that as it resonates. I'm not necessarily saying the end of a relationship. I'm just saying the end of a cycle, a shift happening. There's the King of Wands. I love the King of Wands because that energy is strong, it's passionate, it's purposeful. I really believe that what you've been feeling is that you are going towards your purpose, but in order to get there, you've got to let go of a lot of things. And that's scary. Because if we let go of the narrative, then what do we have? We don't feel like we have an identity. We don't feel like we have something to hold on to. And that's the whole purpose, is to make new energy, to spark new connections, new hobbies and experiences and love. There's an investment that's necessary, right? We talked about that consistency and effort. Now, in your person's headspace, we have the Sun. There's a yes. The Sun is also ego, you know, wearing a mask or being in a place of fear. I think that there has been some shift where maybe your person or people in general have to be more fearless, have to get out of that fear. Now, they may have also had some fears coming to the surface. That is also possible. But the Sun generally is a very happy card. It's a yes card. And see, here you go. There's a preparation here. There's a preparation. Ace of Pentacles is a brand new beginning, a tangible new beginning, okay? And it's almost like getting ready to walk through this door. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Pardon me, it's like I'm pointing at it and you can't see. Like walking through this door, walking through this gate, walking through this portal. There's something that's coming here. And let's take a look at your heart space. I say that sigh with such a little bit of a heaviness. Yes, kitty cat is confirming here in the background. Six of Pentacles is equal giving and receiving. And for whatever reason, you just may not be feeling that reciprocation. You know, sometimes there's not a capacity for that reciprocation, even though that's what we want, you know? And maybe there's a part of you that is learning how important that equal giving and receiving is and how to achieve it instead of forcing it or controlling it, you know? And reflecting back, sorry, my kitty cat's going wild here in the background here. In my reflection of the last 7 or 8 years or whatever it is, or the end of an era, is I've had to learn how to receive. And a lot of people ask me, how do I do that? You know, like, I don't know how to receive. And I think one of the things that I've learned that is so simple is know how to take a compliment. Allow somebody to do something nice for you, buy you a coffee, buy you a meal without you having to automatically reciprocate or assume somebody's negative intentions. You know, again, not all people are bad. You can't. I understand that, like, we judge based on history, you know, what we've experienced. I totally get that. But at the same time, like, what choice do we have in regards to opening ourselves up or, you know, allowing new energy in, whether it's good or bad? It's just how you respond to it. It's really about how you respond to things. It's up to you. It's your perspective. If you perceive things to be bad, well, it's going to be bad. You know, if you perceive things to be good, you have a good chance that it's going to be good or okay. You know, as a high school teacher of so many years, I used to see so many students walk into the classroom. Sorry, I got a kitty cat that's going to shake the camera here. That's her trying to disrupt everything for us. They would walk into the classroom and they would say, "Miss, I'm going to fail this test today," or "I suck at this." And I'd be like, well, that kind of attitude, that's what you're going to get. And I used to always have to work on, you know, changing that thought process for them to say, look, if you've done your best, if you've studied, if you've done everything possible, how could anybody sort of fail you? Now, that doesn't mean you can't, you know, do poorly on a test. It's what you do with those results. Do you wallow in it? Do you say, well, geez, I suck, so I'm going to continue to suck? Or are you going to say, okay, how do I do better? How do I make myself better? I may not be perfect at it, but I can get better at what I'm doing. You know, that's growth mindset and fixed mindset. Which one are you in? And so how we respond to things, I think really that's the message of the day right now for me, is how we respond to things dictates the next steps. If you want to revert back to old ways, if you want to go back into the comfort zone that's not so comfortable, well, then that's your choice. But then at the same time, you can't complain that things are so bad or they're not great. So it all depends on what you want. And you have to clearly decide what you want. Now, I know what you want. You want victory. Now, very interesting. Actually, I have to tell you a funny story. Oh my goodness, I'm just realizing something. Okay, so the 6 of Wands here is like preparing for victory. Okay, so 6-6. So this morning, a lot of you know I order my groceries through Uber Eats because I don't always have time and I'm working and whatever. And today I decided to, you know, order my usual, you know, bananas and blueberries. You know the stories, especially the Uber stories of thick blueberries. Never been asked in my entire life if I wanted thick blueberries or not. But yes, that is what was asked of me by my delivery person. Today, oh, kitty jumped off the table. Today, my receipt for my groceries was $66.66. That was my estimated receipt when I looked at the app recently. And I'm laughing because I'm seeing 6-6. Now, 6 is about equal giving and receiving and balance. You know, I think people will go, oh, that's like devil number. No. We're looking at this as, you know, balance and harmony and peace. And to be honest with you, I think that's what you're looking for in your heart space. You're wanting peace. You're wanting harmony. You're wanting equal giving and receiving. And sometimes we get it and sometimes we don't. But again, how we respond is going to dictate how things are going to go in the future. Your learning is going to dictate what happens next, or your processing of that learning. Now, in your person's heart space, there's the 8 of Wands manifestation. I think your person really wants to shoot their shot. I think they really want to make things happen. And it's not always easy. Now, there's the King of Pentacles. It's slow. It's very slow. I think we always get the King of Pentacles or the King of Wands. It's funny. There they are again in our weekly story here. But I would just say, don't stress so much about their process. You know, doing the Alchemist book talk has been wonderful, and I think the next one we're going to do is The Little Prince in April. But I think the bottom line of these stories is trusting the process, which I know nobody wants to have patience, nobody wants to let go. We all want to control the outcome, and there's a sense of freedom that comes with just letting go and letting things happen and not trying to control things. There's so much added stress when we're trying to control everything, you know? And as I'm looking at like this side versus that side, you know, every week, one of the things that I recognize is that even though you are 10 steps ahead of your person, you're the one that's in more turmoil than the other person. Because this side over here usually is the one who's actually making the boundary, saying, I can't give to you, I don't have the capacity, you know? And we just don't listen over here because we want to take control. We want to make sure it goes the way we want it to. And I'm not saying that this side has justifiable behavior. Absolutely not. Nobody likes a situation where there's breadcrumbing or can't give or can't make boundaries or can't take the lead or doesn't communicate clearly. Of course not. None of those things are attractive. But the more we try to control those things and say, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. Ask yourself, what does that added stress bring you? Like, what does that add to your life? Because all it does is it focuses the energy that you could be using on yourself onto somebody else who's not listening. And neither of you are listening to each other, right? And I've been in that position too, so I'm included with all of you when I say that. That was my learning of the last 7 or 8 years. You know, I wasn't listening. I was trying to convince. I was trying to say, yeah, but, you know, and now I'm at a point where it's like, no, it's fine. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't force it. All I can do is live my life and let things unfold, you know, and remind yourself, nothing that's meant for you is ever going to pass you by. You're not going to be forgotten. You're not going to mess things up, because when somebody really loves you, you know, they'll find a way back to you. The universe will conspire, you know, or like in The Alchemist, talking about being a part of one's dream. If you're a part of one's dream, you know, then that love may come to you. I don't think we have to stress so much about whether it will or whether it won't. It doesn't really matter whether it will, whether it won't. What matters is right now in the present moment, what are you doing to make things better for yourself? Not how to make things better for the other person. That's their life. That's their soul contract. You have your own to focus on. So let's take a look at the overall energies here. Yeah, Judgment, not surprised. Not surprised at all. I've seen that Judgment card a lot. There's the Tower. Listen, there's a wake-up call coming, and maybe there's a Tower moment happening or brewing. You may have already experienced it. It all depends on where you're at on this journey. There's the Knight of Swords that's telling you you got to keep moving onwards and upwards. And you got to trust the process, man. Like, again, let me remind you of the age-old Kelly Lorraine saying, you know, you can't go busting out the Miracle Grow. This garden here is going to harvest whenever it's going to harvest. And you have to let it be the way that it is. And you can't control it as much as you'd love to. You can't. Okay, let's go into what are the current energies. The current energies. Let's see. The High Priestess. You're getting signs and synchronicities. And let me remind you of something. Again, controversial topic of my own. And feel free to chime in or, you know, agree to disagree, whatever you feel. It's lovely to see angel numbers. It's lovely to have signs and synchronicities from music. Oh, I got a kitty cat that just leapt like you wouldn't believe across this room onto my bench. Okay. It's lovely to get the signs and the synchronicities, the angel numbers, the songs, the TV shows and movies that are like your life story. It's all beautiful. But understand that it's testing you. And yes, those numbers have meaning. Of course they do. But they're testing you. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? And sometimes we get these signs and we want to confirm what we want to confirm. You know, we're using them as ways to say, yes, I'm right. It has to be this. And, you know, again, that's up to you. But understand that when you're doing something or you're making shifts and all of a sudden you're pulled backwards, why do you think you're pulled backwards? Not necessarily because these things are meant for you or this person is meant for you. It's because it's asking you, are you going to do what you used to do? Those things that weren't working before. Are you going to give it another go? Are you going to put more effort into something? Or are you going to do different, try different, and see what happens? Like, what choice do you have at a certain point, right? It depends on where you are in your journey. There's no specific timeline. You don't have to do it when I would do it or when someone else would do it. Of course, you're your own person. You have your own journey. But, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. At what point do you say, you know what, this isn't working and I'm going to try something else? And I know there are people who are going to say, I've tried everything. Well, maybe then, you know, you need a different perspective or talk to somebody who has a different perspective. But the High Priestess is lovely, lovely energy. It's signaling you that you are changing. But again, it's helping you. Let's put it this way. If the High Priestess is about ascension, what is ascension? It's moving on up, right? It's going up. It's ascending. You're not going down. You're not going backwards. So if you're getting signs and you're going backwards, well, then that's the opposite of ascension. You're descending, not ascending. And I know that many of you don't want to descend. You want to ascend. You want to go up. So if at all you're finding yourself descending or going backwards into a comfort zone because you think that sign verifies a person, a situation, a this, a that, whatever, insert whatever story, then you really have to like look at that from the bigger picture and say, how is this serving me? Is this right for me? Deep talks. Deep talks. Wow, I'm already at 27 minutes in and I haven't even... All right, let's see what else. 5 of Wands, you're conflicted. You're conflicted about what to do. What do I do? What are the signs telling me? How do I navigate this? Okay, let's take a look at what's going on in your person's headspace. Judgment, there you go. Again. Wake up call. News, transformation, heed the call. Knight of Cups, wanting to offer some love. I've noticed this the last few weeks. If you go back and watch those videos of the previous weeks, you will see what I'm talking about. Even though I'm not justifying the behavior necessarily all the time of a person over here, right? It really depends on the person and the situation. But as a generalization, the energy has been more positive here than here because this side is so worried about this side. This side is focusing on self. Even if it's not benefiting you or good for you, they are somehow, you know, protecting themselves in certain ways and even protecting you, believe it or not. I know that's hard sometimes for people to believe. Now, in your heart space, there's the King of Pentacles right there. This is who you want to see, right? You want the King of Pentacles. I think your person wants to be the King of Pentacles. They're working on it, but you have to trust it. How else do you get to that point if you don't trust it? And there's the Ace of Cups. You've got to fill your own cup. And there's also a brand new emotional beginning here if you're ready for it. Sometimes we think we're ready. Sometimes we think we're open and we're not. It really depends. You know, it's all perspective, like I said. So let's see. Your person's... So, interesting. Now, the Four of Pentacles, and I'm just wondering to myself, no, we didn't have the Four of Pentacles. I don't know why, but I'm thinking, you know, maybe I'm thinking of something yesterday, but Four of Pentacles, there's still a bit of holding back because it's not quite there yet. It's not quite there yet. I'm not saying it never will be, but you have to trust it. Ten of Swords, they have to let something end first. Ten of Swords is the ending of a cycle. Overall energy, yeah, there's the Sun. Twice now. Judgment, Sun, clarity. And look at this lightning. Funny, the lightning storms we had, if you know, you know, they were terrible. There's clarity. There's truth coming. Underlying energy, Page of Wands. Throw caution to the wind and enjoy life. Be creative. Adventurous. Victory. Six of Wands. Look at all these sixes. 666 now. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look at the After Tarot. Now this is where it gets juicy. All right. What's the upcoming energies? There you go. Ten of Pentacles. Tangible fulfillment. It's yours. That's treasure. Finding your treasure. For my alchemist people, you'll know. Where is your treasure? Is it in someone else? Is it somewhere else? Or is it already within you? Ah, the Empress. Birthing a whole new cycle. Feminine energy. Allowing yourself to receive. Venus. Oops, sorry, I knocked the table. Self-worth, self-value, and actually, I'm not knocking the table. There's nothing hitting the table right now. Not even kitty cats. Whoa, okay. Huh, okay. By the way, 1010, another angel number. Wow, the shakes. Where are these shakes coming from? Okay, let's see. And everything's very solid on this table. Your person's headspace, the Queen of Wands. We had the King of Wands, now the Queen of Wands. Second week in a row now, counterparts. Confidence. Your person sees you as a guide. You're not there to do it for them, but you're there to guide. Feminine energy leads in the 5D. Masculine energy leads in the 3D. They see you as confident. They want that confidence. Take the lead in regards to your personal spiritual growth and evolution. Don't take the lead in the relationship. Take the lead in yourself, in your own life, in your growth. You know what's interesting? Your person is getting out of their grief and their sadness. Because this is the Five of Cups in the After Tarot. So it's like saying, we're not going to cry over spilled milk anymore. Now we've got 5-5. We've got big changes ahead. A lot of repeating numbers, right? Now we might say, what do those mean? What, you know, are you in the old? Are you in the new? Are you in the grief of the past? Or are you in the new? Are you in the Ten of Swords where you got all these swords hitting your body? Or are you in the Ten of Pentacles where you're having this tangible fulfillment? Are you in equal giving and receiving and balance with the 6-6? Or are you in disharmony, lack of peace? In your heart space, the Moon. Interesting. The Moon is telling you to trust your intuition. It's telling you to purge and surrender. You might be feeling anxious and worried that things are not going to go the way you want, but I'm going to give you the perspective that everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to. You have no way of knowing. You have no way of controlling it. The more you try to control it, the more it's going to go in ways you don't want it to. I mean, I'll ask you the question. How's that been working for you, trying to control the outcome? Depending on your situation and how long you've been doing it, tell me, how has that worked? It really doesn't. There's the King of Cups. Emotions, being in tune with the emotions. Well, like I said, the moon is in Scorpio. We are in Pisces season. You know, this is the water energy here. You're feeling the emotions. But I don't want you to make decisions based on your emotions. I want you to make the decisions based on balance. Looking at the bigger picture. Don't be reactive to everything. Don't take everything so personally. I know that's hard. All right, like in the 4 agreements, like you can't take things personally. A lot of the times when people run, it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. That doesn't mean you don't have a role in your conversations or your daily dealings, but understand that when people run, you know, they don't have the capacity. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. And I'm not justifying bad behavior, but man, tells you something though. In your person's heart space, look at Tower. There's a lot of Tower moments happening, and sometimes we need those Tower moments to shake us up and to change our lives. If I hadn't had my Tower moment back in 2017, oh boy, where would I be right now? I don't know. I'd probably be living my life, not doing any of this. I would probably still be in my teaching career. I'd be okay, somewhat happy, I guess. I wouldn't have been totally fulfilled. But I'm thankful for that Tower moment. It's given me so much. And let's see what else we need to know here. Your person is moving on towards peace and calmer waters. Look at that, another 6. There we go. We got the 4 6s. 6 6 6 6. Just like my receipt from Uber. Okay, overall energy. We're making the decision for having the treasure. There you go. I asked you about the treasure. Where's your treasure? The treasure came in making a decision. If you're not making decisions because you're afraid to, you're not getting your treasure. You're not getting your reward. Not yet anyways. Oh, look at that. The King of Pentacles with the abundance. How interesting. I love how these readings come full circle. That King of Pentacles is abundant. Trusted the process. Let things unfold naturally. No resistance anymore anyways. Underlying energy, the Chariot, victory. Onwards and upwards, ascension. By the way, I want to make a point about this. There's heart-centeredness here. Notice how the hand is over the heart. Being in tune with the heart, following one's heart. And I'm not talking romantically, I'm talking about intuition. Oh, there you go, intuition. Queen of Cups, Pisces energy. This is saying I'm not going to overgive anymore. I'm going to lean back. I'm going to allow myself to receive. I'm going to trust my intuition. And look, we have the counterparts. Interesting, interesting. Last week, I think we had the King and Queen of Pentacles. Wow, the shaking. King and Queen of Pentacles and the King and Queen of Wands. And now this week we have the King and Queen of Wands and the King and Queen of Cups. So there's definitely a lot that's going on. I'm kind of feeling these love cards here. Let's just see what we need to know. Think of a special moment that brought you much joy with your partner. Okay, this just basically means be in the present moment. Be in the present moment. Can't live in the past. Can visit there, can't live there. But you also can't dictate the future. Oh boy. Trust. You need to have trust in a relationship in order for it to flourish. You need to trust the process. I don't know if I need to even say any more. I'm kind of laughing. I'm kind of laughing here at myself. Trust the process, Kelly. Story of my life. All these years. All these years. Trust the process, Kelly. If you know, you know. Best gift that was ever given to me. So thankful. And I feel really happy to say that I feel like that era of my life has closed in a way. And I'm okay with it. I'm happy. I don't know what's to come. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But right now, whatever comes my way, I know that it will be meant for me. And that's just hindsight, right? Don't give up on love, heart. See what I mean? What do you desire? Never give up. Surrender, but don't give up. Okay, well, that was a 40-minute reading. If you're still here with me, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I love you all, and your kindness and support always means the world to me. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribes, and if you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. Again, thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.